Day one of the NFL Combine just wrapped up with the defensive line and linebacker workouts. We're going to talk about our winners and our losers from day one here at the Combine. Special thanks to our friends over at Underdog Fantasy for sponsoring today's video. More on them a little bit later, but let's go ahead and get into the nitty gritty. Let's talk about the edge class. And let's first go over some measurements, some notable guys that are not working out. Let's start with Abdul Carter, who came in. Apparently, we knew he had the shoulder injury that he played through during the college football playoff. Ended up having a stress fracture in his right foot. So he, luckily, no surgery, but he will be performing at his pro day. Mikael Williams, he's coming back from that high ankle sprain that he suffered, that he played through this past season. So he's going to work out at his pro day, but he still came in looking like a freak with over 34-inch arms. And his hands were massive. Mike Green, he's not going to work out till his pro day. We will get to guys like Shamar Stewart and Donovan Ezraku because they did test and it was hella good. James Pierce Jr. coming in light at 245. Sub 33-inch arms. Not ideal. Got suboptimal arm length. I hope you're hella fast. And fun fact, he was hella fast. Obviously, he's got some of the character concerns that were brought up this past week. But again, a lot of that's going to be decided in interviews. Nick Scordon came in looking like a different man. He shedded the weight. He's down to 257. You love to see it. But he will also do his workouts at his pro day. But he did do the on the field drills. And I thought he looked pretty solid. There was some stiffness here and there, but all in all, I was like, hell yeah, he's shedded the weight. Can't wait to see what the times are. Let me give a quick shout out to our friends over at Underdog Fantasy. If you sign up using the promo code BROSHMO, they will match your first deposit up to $1,000. It's a ludicrous offer. And the best part about it is Underdog Fantasy, they have daily promos. And currently, this is a video about the Combine. They got over and unders. They got higher and lower on Combine time. So if you want to get in on the action, then check out Underdog Fantasy. Download the app. Sign up using promo code BROSHMO. But as always, play responsibly and play within your means. Jack Sawyer came in. Now, to be fair, there are quite a few of the edge players in this class who have sub 33-inch arms. Not ideal, not the end of the world. Sawyer had sub 32-inch arms. He had, 31 and 3/4 inch arms. Not great. I figured, you watch the film, you're like, it doesn't look like he's going to have ideal tools, but I didn't think it was going to be sub 32 inches. For the most part, I think all these other guys did perform. So let's just go ahead, get into the workouts. And I think where we should start is among these workouts, what correlates to success in the NFL. And when it comes to specifically like the 40, like things like the 10-yard split, you want to see guys being very fast at the beginning of their 40. Because that just translates to explosiveness. We can talk about the shuttle and the cone drills, the ability and the flexibility for these guys to bend. If you're unfamiliar with kind of how the drills work, you got like your explosive drills like the vert, the broad jump, your agility drills being the 3-cone or the shuttle. I don't think they're doing the bench today. I think the bench will be done tomorrow. So maybe we talk about that a little bit later in the week, who benches well, but that's typically not a big indicator for at least edge rushers specifically. But James Pierce Jr. ran hella fast, a 4.4740. Good. He needed it. The 10-yard split ended up coming out to 1.56. For a little context, what times you're looking for, or you want to at least have, you want, like, if you're looking for elite explosiveness, anything lower than 1.59 seconds is kind of ideal. Anything slower than 1.71 you get off ain't great. You're in the lower percentile. So you of course, the lighter guys like James Pierce Jr., Colin Oliver, they tested well with that. Shamar Stewart, for one, came in, he was down at the Senior Bowl to 281. He was down to 267. First off, he's got over 34-inch arms. You love to see it. 1.58. Holy moly, dude. We could be talking about this dude getting some like top 10 love. I've been blowing the horn. I've been trying to get people on the hype train. It's like, hey, he's a freak. He's going to go higher than where you probably have him. I know you look at the production. Well, people look at the sack numbers. They don't even look at his pressure numbers. Because you look at the pressure when it comes to Shamar Stewart, 12.4% pass rush win rate. It's like, okay, you wish that's better. But I mean, that's on par with other guys that people love, like JT Tuimoloau, Landon Jackson, Jared Ivey. So it's like, okay. Like, he had a grip of pressures, he plays the run well. So it's like your occasional missed tackle here and there. But guys, get on the hype. Especially, it's like people will be like, no, they don't produce. They ain't gonna produce in the NFL. You tell a positional coach that. He's gonna have faith in him and his staff's ability to develop tools like this. Let's just kind of, I mean, and then you got some of these guys who were in that middle range where it's like, good, you check a box. Guys who didn't have that were your bigger passers. To be fair, Sean Martin down here, the West Virginia edge, he's at like 293. He's going to be more of like a 3-tech penetrator. He was a bit of a tweener at West Virginia, so I'm not too worried about that. Ahmed hasn't seen, oh my gosh, I should have got the pronunciation. I just got done watching his All-22 this past week too. The edge rusher from Boise State. I didn't expect him to be pretty explosive. He's a high motor player that wins with grit and plays through and to and through the whistle. Has only started playing football as junior, or at least competitive football as junior year of high school. So he is a bit of a project, but you love how he gets after it. I think he did come in with suboptimal length, sub 33-inch arms. But let's jump to the explosive drills. Take a look at who did well, because like Landon Jackson ends up usurping Shamar Stewart. Shamar Stewart had the 40 inches. Landon Jackson, 40.5 inches. In terms of what you're looking for there, honestly, if you're a pass rusher, anything over 36.5 inches is Gucci. You had a lot of guys hit that threshold. Oluwafemi Oladejo. He was another guy that I thought looked really smooth, really quick during the on-the-field drills. When it comes to suboptimal, anything lower than 30 inches, and it's Sean Martin. Like, this guy's a defensive tackle. Yeah, I feel bad for him, but he's a defensive tackle in the NFL. He's playing on the interior, so nothing too crazy. I saw a 31 inches from James Pierce, and I was like, oh no, let's not have this type of day. But then he redeemed himself. He came in and he had a very good broad. Didn't have a Shamar Stewart broad. So like the explosiveness looked good with those guys, which is kind of wild because Landon Jackson didn't have like the fastest 10-yard split, but I'm not all that worried about it. When it comes to the broad numbers you're looking for, I have it by inches. They have feet and inches. Anything over 122 inches, which would be 10 feet 2 inches. Shamar Stewart cleared that easy. We're talking like higher percentile. You had a lot of guys that cleared that, so you love to see it. There you go, my boy Princely. If we're talking about the lower end of the spectrum, that would be 108 inches, which I believe would be 9 inches or 9 feet, excuse me. And you had no one really bottom out there. You really didn't. So you're feeling good. You're feeling good thus far about this edge class. Let's go to the 3-cone, because I did say that was something that correlates. And dude, Donovan Ezeraku, like if you do the 3-cone in sub 7 seconds, that's elite. Donovan Ezeraku, the only guy to do it. The only guy to do it. And I was talking earlier this week in my mock draft with football analysis, and he's just so sudden. He's so smooth. It's just like what Pedro did to Zimmerman. Just ha ha ha. He's just smooth like that. He's bendy, man. You love to see it. In terms of the lower time, here it would be 7.44. So you like Ethan Downs was the only the Oklahoma edge defender was the only one that didn't that tested with a suboptimal time. Going to the shuttle, Ezeraku back again. Brandon Swinton had a pretty solid day too. He's someone that's kind of in the mix for my life for a top 50 prospect for me. When you're looking for times here, anything that's 421 and like lower, elite. Donovan Ezeraku, elite. You have to be like sub 463, which was Ja Joyner, which I get it. He's more of this 4 wide, like throw him there on the outside, give him a straight line and watch out. But like all in all, your big winners of the day from the edge group. We'll talk about a couple edges with the defensive that worked out with the defensive interiors, but I think you had a lot of like solid, like big performances. You like the NFL draft. Matter of fact, you love the NFL draft, which means you're going to love my draft guide. If you want to know every player your team drafts or even signs as an undrafted free agent, then this is for you. My draft guide updates every day, and you'll be able to see those updates in real time as I add new evals and player backgrounds. It'll have analytics from this year and last year. It'll have the pro day and combine numbers. It'll even have my notes from the senior and Shrine Bowl. It's a one-time purchase of $30 via PayPal, Venmo, or the Cash App. You can check out the pinned comment or the description if you want to follow those links. And when you do purchase it, please be sure to include your email because it is a Google spreadsheet. So I'm going to require your email. Don't make me hunt it down because I will hunt you down. I will find you and I'll make sure you get your money's worth. Anywho, thanks for supporting the channel. Specifically from guys like Shamar Stewart, Donovan Ezeraku. Let's keep talking about him at the back end of the first round because I think it's there. James Pierce, I think, ends up being more in this mid to late first range at this juncture. Landon Jackson probably solidified himself if he wasn't already as a top 50 prospect in this class. I don't think anyone did anything outside of like Jack Sawyer just not measuring out well. I don't think anyone did anything that like crippled or like did serious harm to their draft stock. I really don't. Let's jump to the defensive tackles. You got I believe Mason Graham he had I think it was shoulder surgery, don't quote me, after the season, so he's still recouping from that. He's going to work out at his pro day. Walter Nolan likewise is going to work out at his pro day. Derek Harmon, I think, had himself a day today. Kenneth Grant, during the medicals, it was like, hey, you got a bit of a strain on your hamstring. So he was like, okay, I'll just wait till my pro day. You had a lot of guys opt to not do the workouts, but they took part in the on-the-field drills. But let's just go ahead, get to the sucker. I mean, let me point out the edge players that worked out with the defensive tackles, as you had Tyron Ingram Dawkins. I think he's kind of like a 3-4 end, maybe. We also had, I think we had another guy. Maybe we did. Maybe I just made it up. Maybe. Okay, I guess it was just him. Oh no, Savion Jones did work out with the edge players. That was the other player I was thinking of. Let's go to these live results. When it comes to correlation, what translates to the NFL for the defensive interior, it's typically the 40, the 10-yard split, and the 3-cone. With Bench. Yeah, I mean, typically your guys that are stronger see higher snaps in the NFL, and that's weird because it's vice versa with the offensive line, or at least the tackle position. Like with defensive tackles, the higher you bench, the more reps you actually play in the NFL. When it comes to tackles, the guys with a lower bench play actually more snaps, opposed to guys with a higher bench play fewer snaps in the NFL. It's kind of weird. It's kind of a weird correlation. But let's jump into this sucker. As Ty Robinson had your fastest 40 time on the day. I believe he came in at like 286. 288. He came in at 288 today. So he wanted to run fast. He ran fast. 483. Jared Harrison Hunt, who's kind of a tweener, maybe more built to be a 3-4 end. You had your second fastest time. Darius Alexander had a good time at 495. Derek Harmon also 495. CJ West, man, I was shocked. Like, I thought he was probably going to be like a 505, 510. 495. Hell yeah, you go and get after it, my friend. Again, but the 10-yard split is kind of the bigger number, or the bigger time we're looking for here when it comes to 10-yard split. Anything that is a 169 is in the higher percentile. Who would have thought? It's your guys that are lighter pass rushers, lighter defensive interior players. Darius Alexander, though, 172. Hell yeah, you get after young man. By the way, he came in today at 305, so he's typically carrying 20 more pounds than all the guys in front of him. With CJ West, he's came in at, let me find it, 316. So big meaty boys here, big meaty boys. Low number for this is 181. Not really shocked that your big boy Cam Jackson didn't run that exception, or didn't have a very explosive time. JJ Pegues, I was a little surprised at being on the lower spectrum there. Jamari Caldwell, he's short, he's stout, he's thick, shorter strides. I'm not shocked. Yeah, Black being a little bit on the lower end too, but I mean, that's another thick boy here. But let's go ahead, let's jump, since the 3-cone time is a big correlation. Your fastest here were your lighter guys with Ingram Dawkins, Tonka Hemingway. What did he come? He came in at sub 300 today too. 295. So they had your fastest times. But I mean, dude, look at this. You got Yaya Black, who is 337, came in and ran a 7.63. That's not a bad number. For context, bad, like if you're in the lower percentile, you are 7.95. Guys who run 7.37, it's typically on the elite end of the spectrum. Numbers with 7.6, with again 305 Darius Alexander, 337 Yaya Black. Good numbers. Jordan Phillips, though, the dude is legitimately, hey, shoot me out of a cannon. He's a penetrator. I'm not surprised that he didn't test all that well there. Let's take a look at the shuttle times. Again, it's your usual suspects. Kind of shocked that Jordan Phillips, not great on 3-cone, did well in the shuttle. For shuttle times here, 445 is in the higher end of the percentile. Lower end is going to be 483. So again, you have some of these guys sitting around looking good. Eric Gregory out of Arkansas, not the best time. Even Darius Alexander was on the lower end of that. So again, kind of interesting. Let's go to the explosive drills, the vert. Oh, it's all your light boys. Then again, I believe Zeke Biggers here is 321, right? Yeah, came 6'5", 321. But for the vert, your big numbers here, anything over 32.5 inches is really good. 26 inches and under, not so great. Did anyone get under 26 inches? You had a few people. Alfred Collins, but he's thick. Yaya Black, he's thick. Deion Walker, he's thick. Cam Jackson, he's thick. Again, like, you want context for all this, because people love to call this the underwear Olympics, but like, some of these times matter. Some of these actually translate to the NFL. But again, you have to look at these numbers, especially with defensive line, and look at them size adjusted. Oh, why did these guys not jump so well in the vert? Oh, because they're big as hell. When it comes to the broad jump, typically the number you're looking for here is going to be 111 inches. So that's what? That is 9 feet 3 inches, I believe. You had a lot of guys clear that. Typically your lighter guys. Brinson, what did he come in at today? 315. So okay, that's real good for him. If you're looking on the lower end, we're talking like 99 inches. So that would be 9. I think that's 8 feet 3 inches. I'm doing my math right. I think that's 8 feet 3 inches. To which only 2 people came in underneath that. And if you didn't know, it's the thick boys again. Alfred Collins, who came in today at 6'6", 332. Cam Jackson, who came in today at 6'6", 328. Again, it's your thick boys. But again, like, these are numbers that don't necessarily correlate. They're doing the bench tomorrow. You're going to be seeing this video tomorrow. So by that time, bench numbers will be in. But let's get to the linebackers. I didn't get to see the actual, like, I caught some of the drills. I didn't see the actual workouts. So this is kind of my first reaction to their numbers. So buckle in, strap up. I do have their measurements though right here. Jalen Walker, I believe he was listed with the linebackers. Didn't work out today though. So your 40-yard dash. Your fastest came in with Kane Medrano, the UCLA linebacker. Who is it? It's Medrano. There we go. Medrano, who's actually got quite a bit of a like track background. I remember doing his tape study and his background, and he was like a legit, like, won the discus and the relays as a senior, the discus and the shot put as a junior in the state meets. He was like the top male student athlete in Colorado during high school. So, like, yeah, I mean, I think him running fast was to kind of be expected. I'm not gonna lie to y'all, the guy I'm looking for, I don't think ran today. Yeah, we did not see. It looks like we did not see Carson Schwessinger run today, which breaks my heart. He came in at 6'2", 242, by the way. Like, he was listed at like 225 at UCLA. So, okay, well, let's first, before we like dive into these numbers, let's talk about correlation. There is none. There's literally you cannot find a great correlation that translates to success in the NFL when it comes to the workouts. You just can't. There isn't a great one. There's just not. But when it comes to like your fast numbers, let's go over that. Anything that's 4.59 or less, it's very fast. 4.85, particularly slow. Asante, or Eugene Asante, he's a very undersized linebacker. He was expected to run fast. I'm glad to see guys like Jahad Campbell, who we figured he was going to have a very freaky week. He came in at 6'3", 235, 32.5-inch arms, 10.5-inch hands. That's in the upper percentile. We figured he was going to have a freaky workout week. Danny Stutzman, I'm glad that he ran really well. He's running at 6'3", 233. I want to see more so who's on the lower end of the spectrum. Did anyone? Dang it, dude. I knew it. So we knew Jay again. This is why you need to this is why you need to come into the combine kind of already having a good feel on, okay, who's fast and who's slow. Jay Higgins, we kind of assumed he wasn't going to be the fastest guy. He's just limited athletically. So I'm not surprised by his 4.82 number. The guy I'm surprised with is actually two guys. Shamar James, who I thought flew at the Senior Bowl. You watch his tape, he flies around the field. I thought he'd be faster than that. But to be fair, that 4.69 number, it's not terrible. It's just I feel like he's faster on tape. Chris Paul Jr., 4.63. It kind of makes sense. He flies around, but he's also like limited length. I think he has 30 and an 1/8 inch arm, so very limited length. He's 6 foot, 6'1", 222 pounds. So not shocked. And to be fair, like that 6.93 number is just under the higher percentile. So like all in all, I think like the linebacker group ran pretty well. Let's go ahead and let's just jump to the vert. For context, numbers you're looking for here. Anything over 37.5 inches is explosive. 30 inches or under is, did you even jump? So Carson Sweat, okay, Sweatsinger didn't even, he did work out. He just didn't do the 40. Are they still running the 40s right now? Because I believe these are unofficial times. Oh no, they're official. They're official. They got the check mark. Okay, Sweatsinger just didn't run the 40. Okay. Well, that's sad. That makes me sad. But he came in hella explosive, 39.5 inches. Teddy Buchanan, the Cal linebacker. It's not surprising that he looked explosive. He came in 6'2", 236, but he's well regarded for his coverage ability. If anything, I'm more intrigued to see who's on the lower end of the spectrum. Because I mean, okay, Boss, I expected him to jump well. The lower end, no one was under 30 inches. Love to see it. Shamar James, what the hell? I thought he was going to perform really well this week. See, and this is why you take a look at these numbers and you're like, okay, why did it not match on film? Why did it not match on film? Or maybe I need to go back and actually watch specifically how they jumped, how they ran. Do we have a Kyle Hamilton situation where instead of running a straight line, decide to take the scenic route? But Demetrius Knight, I'm not freaking out about him being this far down on the list. Like the dude's a heavier set linebacker. It was to be expected. Let's jump to the broad in terms of context. I did see on Twitter or X, Small Munden had an insane 10 feet, 10 inches. All right, for the broad here, we are looking for 10 feet, 2 inches. And a lot of people cleared that. Nick Martin, Kane Madrano, Teddy Buchanan, Jahad Campbell. Again, we knew he was going to be freaky. In terms of the lower end of the spectrum, number you are hoping they are not under is, I believe that's 9 feet 4 inches. Anyone sub? It was Jay Higgins, but again, we know he's not a great athlete. We knew he was never gonna do well at this. Did Schwessinger do the broad? Didn't do the broad. Okay. I wonder, do we have the? We don't have the 3 cone or the shuttle times yet because I'm recording this at night. Because I don't have time to record it in the morning because I have children to take care of. But I mean, dude, we're gonna have on Monday, we're gonna have basically a wrap up on who my biggest winners, biggest losers were throughout the whole week. Kind of focus on who are the freak performances, who exceeded their expectations, and who let us down. But you go ahead, you let me know, who were you the most impressed by what they ran, what their numbers were, in the comment section below. That's it for the video, and as always, until next time, you be easy, my friends. Later.